Okay. Not really a walk and talk. It's more of a rumble around and talk. I'm not really wanting to walk right now. It's the middle of the night. But anyway, reaching an age where, quite frankly, I don't give a fuck what anybody says or thinks anymore. So the truth shall come out, whether you like it or not. And most people don't like that, but whatever. As I grow older, there's a lot of things that happened to me as a child that I'm like, how could you ever conceivably possible have that happen to your child? Yeah, I'm going to be pretty abrupt today. So, yes, I will drink a beer and yes, I will spit. So, whatever. Now, what initially comes to mind to me is, it's German, Schadenfreude. Roughly translated is the pleasure of other people's pain. Now, that's one thing between two adults. I do love myself seeing karma come through every once in a while and people suffer for what they did. I love justice and I love karma. But to make your children suffer is an entire another aspect. Now, I think I've dabbled in this story somewhat to some degree. But the amount of times that to suffer for no fucking reason whatsoever is baffling throughout my childhood. Now that I'm an adult, it's whatever. I just do what I want, and it is what it is. But thinking back on it, god damn it, dude. What the fuck was that all about? It goes into so many facets of life that it's really hard to even explain, like, I think they've tried to institutionalize me, like, at least the better part of a dozen times. And every time they did, the people were like, oh, there's nothing wrong with him. He's fine. Every single time. Nothing wrong with him. He's fine. And it was always in the most embarrassing way. Like being dragged out of class or something like that in front of all my friends. Like, oh my God, Nick's going to the mental hospital. Like, it was so awful. Just so fucking awful. But yeah, everybody's like, oh, you should forgive. Forgive what? Why would I forgive that? That was a terrible experience. And the professionals were like, there's nothing wrong with him. Leave him the hell alone. Every single fucking time. But yet, and here's the kicker, and this is only one kicker of the many kickers that there are. But yet, they never took me to get my eyes checked. I need glasses. So you're willing to send me to some psych ward when I'm a child and there's nothing wrong with me, but you can't get me glasses. Now, this is where I have a problem with it. They were fueling their ill-conceived problems, quote-unquote problems, but not fueling what you actually needed. I was a kid sitting there in class that needed glasses, not a psych ward. And why would you jump to that conclusion unless you wanted to cause harm? It just doesn't it makes no fucking sense to me. Now that's an example when I was a young child. It's it has perpetually gone on my entire life until I broke contact. And I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. Over and over and over again, there's some problem with me. But they never actually looked at, you're creating a problem that doesn't exist. Young me, oh God, that's weird looking. That's pretty cool, actually. I don't want to leave it like that. Fuck it. Can I fix? Oh, there you go. Young me did not need to go to a psych ward or a therapist or this, that, and the other. Young me needed a pair of glasses and somebody that loved them. And that goes into so many facets that I got as I've gotten older, that I realized, like, when I became independent and I was doing my own thing, like, how important basic nutrition is. Because I didn't receive it as a child, but once I started feeding myself, boom, I started to grow. Boom, I started to feel better. Boom, I had more energy. Oh, it's surprising that living beings need nutrition, right? And sleep. Oh my fucking God, sleep. You need your sleep. You need your sleep. To this day, that's the number one thing that would piss me the fuck off. Somebody fucking with my sleep. Do not fuck with my sleep. But they would. So you have this young child who's malnourished, has not had enough rest, and he's supposed to go to school, but he can't see, and he's supposed to apparently make straight A's. Malnourished, malnourished, tired, can't see, and he's supposed to do well in school. Tell me how that's supposed to work. And not only that, he's dealing with the emotional trauma of his parents sending him to some fucking psych ward and this, that, and the other every goddamn year or two to be tested. There was nothing wrong with me. There was never anything wrong with me, and I know that. But I have to say it. I'm at the point now, I'll say whatever the fuck I want. Fuck you, bitch. So, no, there was never anything wrong with me. Well, there was something wrong with me. I hadn't eaten. I hadn't slept. I didn't have glasses. I didn't have school supplies. I didn't have decent clothes. Let me go into the fucking clothes here. And yeah, I'm ranting. Whatever. It's cathartic for me. You don't want to listen to it? Don't listen to it. Let's go into the clothes. It wasn't until my mid-30s I realized how important winter clothes are. And now that I have winter clothes, not only winter clothes, let me backstep one step. Winter clothes and vitamins, vitamin D, zinc, and folic acid. Combine those three, you're going to feel great during the winter. I used to get in this horrible, horrible, horrible depression during the winter without vitamins. Once I started taking vitamins, I was fine. So that was another thing. Lack of nutrients. There again, we go back to not eating, lack of nutrition. But just generalized, simple clothing. One of my very early memories was being sent out into the snow in nothing but like mud boots or galoshes or whatever you want to call them. And by the time I got back home, it couldn't have been that long. I was like a baby. My feet were frozen solid, dude. How do you send your child out with no fucking proper attire for the weather? That's another thing that I learned as I get older. Now that the winter doesn't bother me anymore. I take my vitamin D. I dress appropriately, which means, thermals and undergarments and, keep the heat in type of shit. Pretty fucking obvious. How do you send a child out without that stuff? It's criminal. It should have been criminal. Honestly. And that's not even going into the long... Oh my God. There's just so much wrong. The long, hunting expeditions and stuff. Where I had to walk through sludge, wade through water, do all this shit without the proper attire in the middle of the winter. I remember one time I was sitting at a duck blind just crying. I was in so much pain, just crying my eyes out. They probably froze too. I think it was my brother. He went out one time and like his shit got so cold it was actually literally cracking in half, like it solidified. So, at what point do you call it negligence? At what point do you call it stupidity? At what point do you call it the fucking German shit, Schadenfreude, whatever the fuck it was? What point? At what point do you call it abuse? Because I can tell you right now, I don't have any kids. I have pets, but I would never fucking once in my life let a young child go out unprepared and unfed. I would never fucking do it. And it pisses me off. It honestly pisses me off. And people are going to be offended by this shit and be like, oh, he's being aggressive. You know what? Yeah, I am. I'm being aggressive because I had to deal with that shit. Not only was I not fed, not only was I not kept warm, not only was I not treated well, then on the coup de grace, the fucking top of the show, is sent into a mental facility because he's crazy. Oh, really? Maybe it's just a child that fucking wants to be treated well. Do you ever fucking think about that? And yeah, you could say I'm bitching. Sure, I am, but I'm telling the truth. Go fucking be starved, frozen, and being told that you're crazy for being angry. You have every right to be fucking angry, bro. You have every right to be fucking angry. You need food. You need warmth. You need general compassion, conversation. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not crazy because you're a normal person. Fuck that shit, dude. So, yeah, that's my rant for today. And whatever, take it for what you will. But when I die, watch this shit.